Hello and welcome. Welcome to a very special edition of CPR's Clubhouse Live. You can call this the New England Freestyle Edition, the New England Freestyle Classic. Right now, I can't believe that it's been 30 years of Three to the Max. It's 2023. You guys debuted in 1993 with those Lonely Nights, and now we're here together because you guys are ready to come back. And man, what a comeback this one is. I got the record. I played it to listen to it. I thought it was going to be bad. And boy, was I wrong. It is amazing, especially the extended mix. But right now, I would like to introduce my guest at CPR's Clubhouse Live. We have George, Edwin, and Rene, Three to the Max. Welcome, fellas.
What's up? What's up?
Thank you for having us.
And one of the pioneers of New England Freestyle is also here. We have from 89.3 WRTC fame, DJ Peter Cee. Peter Cee, welcome back.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you, CPR. Thank you.
We don't have to be formal. This is like family. This is like a reunion right now. You know, it's
Definitely.
very exciting.
Oh yeah.
Because to me, this is the genesis of what made me want to become a DJ. What you don't understand is that back in 93, I was had graduated from high school and I wanted to get into freestyle. I saw Three to the Max at the Plainfield Street Puerto Rican Festival. And this is when we were behind a school, New York school, and it was packed to the rafters. And you guys were introduced by the legend Louis Rodriguez, and you guys did those Lonely Nights. And from that point on, it's like, I have to do this. I have to be on the radio somehow because you guys were our version of TKA. How does it feel? 30 years, you guys still got some moves?
We're working our way there.
Yeah. Well, you guys are dropping from helicopters.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys are dancing away with this great routine. Now, what is the genesis and the beginnings of Three to the Max for people that are not aware of the group? How did the three of you come about becoming Three to the Max?
It started at a project here in Coast Garden. Me, Rene, and George, we got together, and George used to hit his chest to make beats, and that's how Lonely Nights was created, by Georgie's hitting his chest. But that's how we started. We started in a project out here in Hartford, in Coast Garden, and that's how the group started.
How did you guys were able to get into the studio and record a song together, something like, you know, those Lonely Nights? Because back then, it's not like now, right? Back then, you had to spend a lot of money. You had to go into the studio. It was by the hour. How did that come about?
Well, before anything, after we decided to create the group, we hooked up with this guy named Angel Morales. He was a manager at the time. He said he would help us out. And he became our manager. We started, working on projects, doing our shows, a couple of shows that we had. And then during that process, we met Ritchie Rich. And
this is the original Richie Rich, the pioneer from New England, the producer, the guy that put the beats together. And how did you convince him to do a project with Three to the Max?
Well, it's funny. We went to his house. We were introduced to him by Tito.
Yeah, DJ T.
DJ T. We were introduced to him. We went to his house, and at the time, me, Edwin, and Rene, we had an older version of those Lonely Nights, and we did a harmony in front of Richie, and he was ecstatic. He loved it, and from that moment on, he said, I want to work with these guys. So then we started working with him.
Now, also here, we have DJ Peter Cee, 89.3 WRTC. How can we forget? Just legendary radio voice from New England. Now, Peter, how were you able to get into being the host of the WRTC show, which ran from 12 midnight to like 6 in the morning the next day?
Actually, that was not the original time slot. I actually was introduced to radio through a good friend, Van Johnston, who was no longer with us. So, rest in peace to him. Great mentor. And he actually saw me performing a couple of mobile functions for some state offices, and he invited me out to the radio. The next thing I know, I'm putting in paperwork to get a FCC license. Back then, you needed the license. Went through that whole process. Little by little, just kind of worked my way into radio, volunteering for a couple of guys, substituting. And then eventually the freestyle show actually started at 2 a.m. Wow. So I was at 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. That was the initial time slot. So when I got that time slot, I did that for about a couple of years, probably a little over 2 years. And then the program director at the time decided that they were going to break up that nightly slot and bring it in a little earlier because of the fans who were asking for more programming a little bit earlier. So we were able to, get in a 12 to 2 a.m. Window, which worked out great for years.
Yes, I remember you, and then Bad Influence, then DJ Porky, and then a few others that trickled in. But that is history in Connecticut. That is the reason why a lot of the artists from Connecticut were able to break through and be listened to. We have a lot of quality artists from Connecticut, a ton of bad ones too, but we won't talk about that tonight. And so it's a situation where it's a starting place for many, especially our group here, 3 to the Max. Now, how did the connection between 3 to the Max and DJ Peter Cee, who happened to be the manager at the time, how did that connection happen?
Well, Tito, who they were introduced to, happened to be assisting with me at WRTC. And he was introduced, and then he introduced the group. Obviously, they were working on their first project. They were looking for someone to assist. Management, came into play, help these guys, get them ready for shows, get them, prepared for recording, going into the studio. I mean, everything that a manager would do on the side, do road things with them, go on tour if there was a show that needed to be done. All the small things that, managers would do as far as, road managing. And again, like I said, these guys, if they weren't introduced, through Tito, who was one of the key guys also at RTC at the early days, I wouldn't have met these guys. But it's been great ever since.
Now, did you guys really think that Those Lonely Nights was going to be that great of a song, that banger of a song, that amazing production by Richie Rich?
Yeah, we had that vibe from the rip. We played around with the lyrics a bit, little changing here and there. Once Richie had his style of producing, with the hip hop beats and with the freestyle mix, and it was fire. And but yeah, we definitely knew it was gonna do good. You know what I mean? It was gonna stick in people's ears and heads and stuff like that. So yeah, and we that one came from the heart. That one came from us just doing little acapellas and the project, just going at it. You know what I mean? It just every day.
The one thing that I remember when I saw you for the first time at that Puerto Rican festival is the female fandom. How much trouble did you guys get into back then without you guys getting divorced right now, or losing your significant other? How much trouble did you get back then? You don't have to be specific.
Yeah, you enjoyed well.
But yeah, we had a good time. We had a really good time. We had a lot of people that supported us and followed us. So yeah, it was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I say that because back then, we were younger, right? And I was just getting out of high school, but you guys were like, the guys. You know what I mean? And when I saw you guys in this park, to me, you guys were already stars. I was looking up, and I just saw you guys perform, and I'm like, man, that's an amazing group. That's our TKA. So when you guys released Those Lonely Nights, where were some of the places that you performed?
Springfield was one, right, George?
Yep.
Springfield.
Yeah, we did Springfield.
Club Brazzles. Yep. Performed.
We went to upstate New York. We did some spot upstate New York.
Yep.
We did.
We also did a show with Johnny O up in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. That was like a
Show was
big
in Rhode
Latin
Island.
Yeah,
festival.
festival. We
Yeah.
did a bunch of Latin festivals.
Yeah.
We did the Boston.
Yep, we went to
Also in the
Boston.
Boston.
We performed. Where else? We went to it was a club in Weathersfield. We opened up for Little Susie.
Oh yeah, that was
That club.
Mirage. Mirage.
Mirage. It was Club
Yeah.
Mirage. We opened up for Little
Little
Susie.
Susie, yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
we did the Meriden Festival,
Yes.
Springfield Festival, Hartford.
Hartford.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
guys were the kings of the festival, man. Let me tell you, like I said, the fandom, right? If we knew then or we know now, you guys would have made millions. You know what I mean? Because we would have taken advantage of, you know, promotions and selling stuff and T-shirts and all that stuff that we should have taken advantage back then. But there was a certain time where you guys disbanded. What happened there?
Yeah. That's when Rich made the move to Florida, basically.
Yeah.
That's when Rich made the move to Florida with his kids out there. And then we had Angel Cordova at the time, right? Gee, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He kept, pushing us to go to practice still and stuff like that for shows. And then I don't know, man. It's like when we lost Richie, it just I don't know. He was our battery, bro. And things just started happening.
Yeah.
You know, we started having kids and
People got married.
Responsibilities, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just started little by little, it just started kind of like falling apart.
Peter Cee, what was your experience being the manager of such a group?
It was good. You know, I mean, it was definitely something to reminisce about, because it's a challenge sometimes, because it's a learning curve at the same time. It's a genre of music that just wasn't getting the repertoire that we would expect it. We all wanted to be on that top 40. We wanted to be top artists and be professional and have that, the best music that you can possibly provide for your fans. But the group, they did the best that they can. Lonely Nights did great for us, great shows. These guys, when they're together, I mean, it's 100% all the time.
Yeah, I completely agree. And they only got better and better with time. But when you guys disbanded, it did open up the doors for others to come in, because you guys did inspire other groups. Three to the Max inspired, Curiosity and Vocal Image and all the different groups that came out of our area. And so it's a good thing. What were your influences as Three to the Max? Who influenced you in your freestyle career?
Ours was
for
TKA.
me, TKA, man.
No doubt, TKA was.
It was always TKA,
number one. Yeah, we went to a couple of shows to watch them perform.
Yeah, even in our beginnings, man, we saw them at a couple of shows. They came to downtown Hartford. I forgot what it was called.
Coaches. It was Coaches.
And that it just lit us up, man. It was like, this is what this is how we're gonna rock it, man. And that's why we were always on top of our game when it came to dress code, when it came to dance moves.
Yeah,
we wanted to mimic.
We just fell in love with their style.
Their style
was amazing, man.
Amazing.
I want to say that there's a lot of great quality artists in Connecticut and New England as a whole. Peter Cee, this question is for you. Did you see the quality diminishing when everybody tried to bring their own crew in?
I mean, as DJs, you try to not, I won't say not play, not give everyone bad remarks all the time. Because I wasn't, when I was doing radio, I wasn't that DJ that wanted to just like not play someone's music because I felt that it didn't have the quality.
Yes.
I mean, I think some of the quality did start diminishing, particularly in our New England area, not focusing just on one city. It's just a lot of the New England artists did start losing some of the quality, some of the production work, some of the vocal work that was coming out was not 100%. Some of that stuff, was it playable? Not really. I mean, did we play it as DJs? Because as a DJ, it's always been my motto. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to play it. if the fans like it, if someone likes it and they're listening, hey, I like that song. You play it again. You played it last week, or you played it a couple of weeks ago. I'll give it a shot. I'll play it again. Always gave someone an opportunity to present their music, and and give them that opportunity to see if it goes anywhere. We hope that the quality of music continues to get better. But I mean, again, freestyle did diminish for a minute. Kind of stuff kept getting repetitive. Same production, same chords. The times that I was on radio, I mean, obviously we had a lot of the big names that were definitely still killing it. Your Corals, your Lisette Melendez, your Stevie B's, etc. But we did have a lot of artists coming out of these different labels. From your Metropolitan, your Vipers, Artistic, who had some great artists. And again, as DJs, we have to make that decision. How do we, kind of decipher, what's a good track, what's a good vocal,
Right.
What's a good production. I mean, those are things that we look at. Is the audience going to like it? I mean, those are kind of things. Some of the things that I did when I was on radio.
Absolutely. When you guys think of Mr. Musica, what are your thoughts?
Wow.
Legend. He's a legend. That's the man.
Yeah.
He was
a big supporter of us, man.
Amazing supporter.
Yep.
He supported us from Jump Street, man.
Mm-hmm.
About us, he was like a behind the scenes promoter, man.
I think that we diminished freestyle when Mr. Musica, every time you walk in there, he would say, "Yo, that's good, that's excellent. Yo, that's hot. It's hot, right?" And you would buy it, and it was hot, right? When you got that 3 to the Max, those only nice 12-inch record from Mr. Musica on Park Street in Hartford, Connecticut, it was hot, right? And then after a while, when other people from Connecticut started throwing in their artists in there, eventually everything that he said was hot wasn't, and that's how you knew that the quality was diminishing, And we won't point any fingers, but I wish that we still had that type of connection, because before we got on here to discuss 3 to the Max, Peter Cee and I were talking about the importance of DJs talking to each other about specific records in the music shop,
Right.
and to me, that's education. It appears now with the invention of social media, instead of people learning the history of our music, they make up their own, and that's why it's important for, gatherings like this to happen, so we can educate the audience that wants to be educated. Now, after you guys separated and you guys went your separate ways, I know some of you had solo careers, some of you joined Idol Makers, some of you joined, you created On Point with Billy Ray. Those experiences, do you regret them at this time?
Well, I do.
Yes.
Because at that moment when that happened, I was going through some family issues at the time. But I was still in their music. I mean, I came out in Can't Stop and a couple of the songs. I was in it. Just that, when I was going through my problems, I had to step away. So that's one I wish I didn't. Let's put it that way.
And we also had like music that you never heard, man. We did some R&B tracks. We did some house tracks.
Yeah.
Some like summer jam tracks, and they're still there collecting dust. I mean,
yeah. We have
there's no time like the present to put that 3 to the Max album out, because it's something that it's needed to have a 30-year retrospective anthology of 3 to the Max was something that the community is in need of, especially in New England. But so who was DJ? Not DJ. Who was what was the name on your new label? Eddie Blaze, wasn't it?
Eddie Blaze.
My boy Eddie
Blaze. Yeah, I
Eddie
remember.
Blaze. I gave him that name.
Eddie Blaze. Yeah, on I Don't Make a Records. What made you get together after all this time, 30 years later?
Well, basically, it started in the beginning of last year. I noticed that artists like George Lamont, Cynthia, started putting a couple of new projects out. And so I gave Ritchie a call and I said, Rich, it would be cool. You know what? if we put out a new project? It's been 30 years, man. What do you say about that? And then Richie said, go ahead, man, start writing something and send it to me. And then I gave the fellas a call, Ed, Rene, and talk to them and say, hey, man, listen, guys, you know what? Why don't we pick this back up where we left off? You know what I mean? And they were like, yo, man, let's do it. So we just put our belts on and we got to work.
Well, one third of On Point, Billy Ray released his track in 2022 to great response. And so when we found out that out of that was coming a reunion of Three to the Max, it's like cake and more cake and more cake. It's like I'll take a piece of that. It's exciting, and the fact that you guys kept to your roots and you brought back Peter Cee to the fold, I think that's an honorable thing, and that shows the connection between all of you, that you guys can not care about the past, not care about what happened and how you guys disbanded, but that you guys can get back together and just say, well, we learned from our past, and we're going to continue on with what's going to happen in 2023. And what a comeback. The song is I Knew It Was You, coming back on February 3rd, 2023, is a brand new single of Three to the Max. Let's talk about this record because the extended mix is amazing. I sent it to my DJ Cliff Potts. He's not my DJ. He's part of the CPR's Clubhouse crew. He's his own man, of course. But when he one of his top 10 songs of 2022 was Billy Ray's, and now he's like, I guess I already have one for the list for 2023 because he got the sneak peek of the new one from Three to the Max. I Knew It Was You. So he's excited. He's already ready to put it on the mix, and we're gonna debut it right after this. But tell me about this record and tell me about who wrote it and the production and the process.
Yeah, like I said, after I talked to Rich and he told me, George, get into the lab, see if you could create something. I went ahead and wrote I Knew It Was You. It's basically a love song. It could be relatable to any couple, matrimony, boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend relationship. We don't discriminate. But it's basically a love story of how, you meet your significant other for the first time. And so, I wrote it and, we collabed together, me, Edwin, and Rene, and, we were able to complete the project. I created the melody on it. Then I sent everything back to Richie. He loved it. Then I was able to send a little sneak peek of the whole song from A to Z to all the guys so that they can give me their input. And it's like, George, this song is fire. Let's just go with it. And so
we have Billy Ray as well.
Yeah, and
Billy Ray,
we hit up Billy Ray and he said, come on, man, no problem. I'll help with the vocals. And that's how it started. Richie started creating, the mastermind started creating this amazing beat, and we went from there. He came down probably early during the year, probably April, I believe it was. And we went into Edwin Ramos Studios and did vocals and stuff like that, dropped the vocals down on it. Everything worked out smoothly, and we went from there.
Did you guys get deja vu in the studio? Like, not because you were working with Edwin Ramos, but the fact that you guys were together in the studio. And sometimes when you're in a studio in a setting like that, your past, your present, and your future flashes all at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, indeed. It was.
I was nervous, to be honest with you. I was real nervous. I was like, 30 years, I'm like, how are we going to sound? Are we going to sound the same or whatever? But you know what? We connected.
I will say this, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. You guys didn't miss a beat. I've been listening. I got it 2 hours ago, and I only stopped listening to it because I had to do this interview. So for 2 hours, I'm listening to this, and you guys didn't miss a beat. Not only do you have the Three to the Max style in here, but there is an on point, twist to it with a modern sound. But you guys are also, faithful to your original sound. So it's everything mixed together into this beautiful baked beat and production. And I can't wait for the audience to listen to it as soon as we have the opportunity to play it on the CPR's Clubhouse programming. And of course, we're going to play it at the end of this interview. So, man, Peter Cee, when you were invited back into the fold, right, when they called you and said, Peter, there's only one person for this job and it's you, what did you say?
I was a little hesitant, to be honest with you, because like I said, it's been 30 years. And, you know, I haven't managed anyone since, you know, the last group, because I had a Latin group that I was managing for a while. And I kind of put that aside. I said, okay, well, it's time to put that to rest and move on, because I was still doing music. I'm still, like I said, still DJ. I still have a mobile company and I still do podcasting and so forth. But it was great because I've always kept in contact with Ritchie. And, you know, I always seen the guys, you know, the guys are always around and we always chat and stuff. And it was great to get that phone call from Ritchie and just, you know, reminisce. And when he said the guys are in the studio, I'm like, really? And was a little surprised at first, but I was like, I was interested. I was like, what's going on? You know, give me some more info. He's like, well, guys want you to, you know, manage and come back in. So that was a big plus.
I think about WRTC 89.3, and I'm like, isn't it time for you to go back, Peter? Just for a limited time, you know, maybe revive the old time slot. You know, that'll be great. It will be a great honor for us to listen to you again. With the you know, technology, the way things are, there are so many ways for you to push your brand. And if you want to listen to anything from Peter Cee, we're going to have the links on the description of this show. But let me tell you, I sit here at the same time that I'm speaking to you, and I'm just getting flashbacks of the 90s, the 2000s, and all the time. And it feels like time hasn't really passed by, right? It's just here we are where we're supposed to be all together in a room talking about the return of the greatest freestyle group to ever come out of New England, right? 3 to the Max. And I say that because that's something that you earned. It's not something that I gave you. It's something that you guys earned by traveling all around New England, New York, and all the areas that would accept you. And I know that now because of social media, your message, your music is going to go even further, because to this day, those Lonely Nights is played by so many different DJs from all around the world. Texas, you know, it's California, Mr. Tim Spinning Shomer, Cliff Potts, just a lot of people. And then you go international to Brazil, and they're still rocking that yellow record with the black. And that's kind of amazing, right? Because that was something that's ours, right? That was a Mr. Musica store. And for some reason, somebody in Brazil got a copy. You know what I mean? And those are the things that we think about.
Wow.
You know, and there was a long time too where that 12-inch record was worth a lot of money because people couldn't find it. But you know, once the internet opened up a little bit, you know, it started becoming a little less expensive. Because I remember selling that 12-inch record for a few $100s to people because they couldn't find it, and it was only limited to a certain area, you know. But I'm truly proud of the fact that you guys are together here as one, and that you guys are going to continue rocking with each other after 30 years, what a reunion, right? And I'm hoping that I see you guys performing. Are you guys open to performing now? Because I've been trying to get you guys to come back for a long time.
Yes, right, George?
We're open to it. It's gonna be some work and some equipment, but we
just make sure you have an ambulance with some oxygen tank.
Yeah,
we're gonna have 6 packs of Ben Gay for each and one of you. You know, you can rub them on your knee. You know what I mean? Some icy hot. You know, all that good stuff.
Pack.
And we're gonna have plenty of rope, so when you come down from the helicopter, you know, and you drop down, you know what I mean? You drop down correctly. You know what I mean? You don't drop down and bust your knee. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but yeah, we have discussed the possibility of this track, you know, making noise, and that there'll possibly be some requests. So yeah, we're definitely taking that into consideration. You know, as well, you know, we have our lives and our personal lives and the things that we're doing as well. But you know, we've committed to you know, to working on this brand and working on you know, promoting this single.
Excellent. So listen, I wanna give everybody a chance to speak. So Peter Cee, I'll start with you. Do you have any shout outs, as they say on the radio, or anyone that you would like to thank?
Basically, we'll start off with Ritchie Rich, who basically kept us all together. I want to thank Ed Ramos at Platinum Studios. I want to also thank Carlos Barrios, who also assisted, Alexis, who did the edits. A lot of good people behind this project. And thanks to the guys. I mean, without these guys, putting their 100% work into this project and dedicating the time and making sure that this was a solid project, because 30 years, who think about it? I mean, how many artists do you know that, stop doing something and then decide to do something all over again after 30 years? It's unheard of sometimes.
And sound just as good.
And sound, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Edwin, I'll give you the floor. Who would you like to thank or give a shout out to?
Richie Rich, also my parents, my kids, you especially. You always been there for us, and you're not only a friend or DJ with us, you're a family, you're part of this. So especially you.
Thank you.
To the guys, Pete, everybody, majority everybody.
What about you, Mr. Rene?
Yeah, same here, man. Richie Rich, my brother, Billy Ray, who's another brother, always there for us.
Yeah, can't forget.
Ed Ramos, like he said, Barrios, you, CPR, man, you always been there.
I hope I get my shirt. I see a 3 to the Max shirt over there.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, everybody that support us. Shout out to Angel Cordova as well, one of our good friends. T, Mr. Musica, all the old school guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
George, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the Lord, man, because without him, we wouldn't be here, man, and health and being able to do the things that we do. Thank all the people behind the scenes that made this track come out amazing. Ritchie Rich, our brother, friend, Carlos Barrios, who assisted in this project, Edwin Ramos.
He came from Puerto Rico, G.
DJ Alexis, which did the edits for our songs.
Chef's kiss.
Yes, as
Loved
far
it.
The DJs, all the DJs who have supported us over the years, including you, CPR. You've been amazing. You've been like brother, like a family member to us.
Well, just wait on the compliment because I got something to say after this.
Okay, yeah, Peter Cee, Tito, Angel Cordova, who's been with us. And if I missed anybody, sorry.
Yeah,
but
the fans,
man. We cannot,
definitely.
We cannot give enough support to our family, friends, and the people who have supported us over the years. We thank you so much.
So let's talk about somebody being irresponsible in this group when they were coming to 90.7 FM WTCC from Connecticut, and they had an interview that was scheduled at the radio station for 7 o'clock, and you guys were coming from Connecticut, but you ended up breaking down at the sign that says "Welcome to Massachusetts." Why did that happen?
I'll let G say that one.
Yeah, we all came up in our truck, and next thing you know, the truck started stalling, and the engine light came on, and then it just went kapooey. So, and when I went to check the engine for oil, it had hardly no oil in it.
He only knew how to put gas and step on it. That's
it. At the time.
When you say it hardly had no oil in it, right? Or what you're meaning to say, it was bone dry. You could look inside, and it was hollow. All you could see is the steel. So the car ended up breaking down, and they got to the radio station because I believe somebody gave you a ride, correct, in the highway.
Yes. Yeah.
You guys got there at 7:55 around there, so we had to steal 10 minutes from the next show, so we're able to talk to you for a minute. But I thought it was hilarious how the 3 to the Max, these the pretty boys of freestyle, the TKA of New England, can't put oil in their car. You can't get an oil change.
I own that. I own it.
I think it's one of my favorite stories because I would never forget. And at the time, I wasn't even a member of Clubhouse. I was just filling in, but I knew you guys were coming, so I was excited. I went to meet you guys there. And when Jesus the Jews put you on the spot on the radio and said, and you guys called in, I guess somebody let you use their cell phone. And back then, it was by the minute, so it was like that guy was to pay like $30 for that phone call, you know. But I thought it was hilarious. But I also thought it was one of the best stories that we've had on the radio. And I wanted to share that here with the community. But without any further delay, I want to introduce your brand new song, available February 3rd. Check the link in the description for the link to iTunes and to all your favorite digital distribution sites for the brand new 3 to the Max single, I Knew As You. Is going to be available on February 3rd, 2023, just in time for Valentine's Day. And if you're a DJ out there and you don't cop the extended version, you're not really a DJ. Okay, that's all I have to say. I hope that there's CDs. I hope that there's vinyl. I hope that you guys have match for the floor. I don't care. Merchandise the crap out of this one is going to be great. So who would like to introduce the song? You guys want to do it together?
Yeah, G.
Go ahead, Georgie.
Well, to all the fans, to all the supporters, you are about to listen to our new release, our new track called I Knew It Was You. Hope you enjoy it.
This is CPR's Clubhouse Freestyle Universe with CPR, Jose Ortiz, the Final Assassin, DJ Cliff Pot, and the Duchess, Cheryl Rodriguez.
Crazy Puerto Rican. CPR Jose Ortiz is in the building. Jamming freestyle in New England. And now, the world.
back to CPR's Clubhouse Freestyle Universe. The boys are back in town. It's 3 to the max. Edwin, Rene, and George, and they're back. 1993 is the debut of those lonely nights, and right now, you can call me Mr. Exclusive as they reunite 30 years later.
This is CPR Jose Ortiz. Mr. Exclusive. Mr. Exclusive. Freestyle premiere on Clubhouse Dance Music and the CPR's Clubhouse Podcast.
The New England boys are back in town. Once again, it's George, Rene, Edwin, collectively known as 3 to the max. And this is their brand new song coming soon on February 3rd. It's 3 to the max, reunited after 30 years. And this is I Knew It Was You, brand new. And you can call me Mr. Exclusive.
This is CPR Jose Ortiz. Mr. Exclusive. Mr. Exclusive. Freestyle premiere on Clubhouse Dance Music and the CPR's Clubhouse Podcast.